Right, welcome to this lesson where we're going to go through a series of progressive thumb exercises that will help you memorize the exact locations of the E, A, and D strings with your thumb. And this is going to be very important to get down right now because the more time you put into this and have these kind of simple exercises down, the easier it will be when we get into fingerstyle accompaniment patterns in the next couple of modules. So putting in a lot of really hard work here will pay off big time when we get there. I wanted to give you the thumb technique checklist one more time just to make sure that those tips are on the tip of your brain as we go through these lessons. Here they are. Number 1, stay relaxed. Number 2, start with a neutral arm position. Number 3, don't kink your wrist too much one way or the other. Number 4, don't bend your wrist too much one way or the other. Number 5, start with a neutral thumb posture. And number 6, get most of the motion from your large joint of your thumb next to your wrist. Okay, as you go through these exercises, start with no metronome at all. The main focus here is going to be on 100% accuracy and making sure that you have the locations of the low E, A, and D strings programmed into your mind and your thumb. So no metronome at all at first. Once you're feeling confident with that, you're like, oh, I'm hitting everything pretty accurately. Then you could put a metronome on it. I would recommend 60 or 70 beats per minute to make sure that you can stay accurate with a steady beat. Okay, this first exercise uses just quarter notes and each measure stays on one string. And here is the pattern for you. It's just 4 quarter notes or one measure on the low E. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it switches to 4 quarter notes on the A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it switches to 4 notes on the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then back to 4 notes on the A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you're doing this, get set up like you normally would. Thumb on the low E string. Fingers on the top 3 strings. Just boom, boom, boom. Right there in order. Relaxed, neutral position. And go slow as you need to. Actually look back at your thumb to ensure that you're hitting the right string and that your change to the next string is going to be accurate. And all you're doing is cycling through the E, A, D, and A strings. And then you start the exercise over again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, A string. 1, 2, 3, 4. D string. 2, 3, 4. Back to the A string. And go as slow as you need to. And just do that over and over again. And the idea of perfect practice is going to pay off big time here. And it's a really good time to bring this up because it's going to be an important habit for you to get into as you start to learn new fingerstyle patterns and things like that. The more of a stickler you are about this right now, the easier and faster things will come later on because you'll have more control and more accuracy with your thumb. All right, let's try this one with a metronome. Got that at 70 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now if you found yourself kind of fumbling around and hitting wrong strings there, that just means that you need to either slow it down with the metronome, maybe try 60 beats per minute, or you need to ditch the metronome and just spend some more time programming this in without a metronome at all. Let's move on to exercise number 2. Things jump around quite a bit more on this. The pattern here is just E, A, D, and then that's the entire pattern. You just loop that over and over again. Since we have an odd number of notes, 1, 2, 3, things work out to be a little bit weird, so you have to give the fourth time you do this, you have to give the D 2 beats, but that's no big deal. We can just think about it as going E, A, D, E, A, D, E, A, D over and over again. That way you're building your accuracy. You don't have as long, you don't have 4 beats, you know, on each note. So we have to know where the notes are better. And the only way to do that is slow things way down. And what's going to happen is, like, you may be guessing right now, or you may be really struggling to be accurate and you have to look back, but the more you slow this down, the more you're going to be programming the locations of these strings into your thumb, so where you don't have to think about it as much. Eventually you'll get it to where you can do it like that. Let's try this one with the metronome. All right, 70 beats per minute. Here we go. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know, one of the tip that I have for you that has really been helpful for me is to record yourself, whether that's just, you know, on a voice memo or voice note on your phone, or better yet, if you can just set your phone up, or if you have, you know, a camera, set it up and record yourself and watch it back to see, you know, is my thumb technique good? Am I playing in time? How does it sound? How does the tone sound? All these things are important, and actually watching yourself back and watching critically, you know, watching critically and listening critically in a good way, is a really good way to kind of isolate some problems, or, you know, maybe hear problems that you didn't think existed and really isolate them and work on them and solve them. Anyway, let's go on to exercise number 3. Okay, this exercise is just the exact opposite of the last exercise. We're going to start on the D string with the thumb. Get your hand set up just like you normally would, but thumb is on the D string this time. And just go D, A, D, just over and over again. Okay, same exact idea. When you get to the 4th measure, the E string there is a half note, and then you just start over. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And go as slow as you need to, not even really counting if you don't need to at first, just alternating between those strings. Actually looking back to make sure that you're hitting the right string 100% of the time. But eventually you'll get to where you'll have those programmed in, and you can try it with a metronome. Here you go. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, here is our ultimate goal for this lesson. Let me show it to you real quick. There's a lot of bouncing around, so all of the exercises leading up to this point have been there to prepare you for this one. It's just E, A, D, A. That's the pattern. E, A, D, A. And you just do that over and over again. Since there are 4 notes in the pattern, it fits it perfect for a measure of 4 times. So you just repeat that over and over again and go slow as you need to ensure 100% accuracy. Look back at your thumb if you need to. And eventually you'll be shooting for this. If you can do this right now, this is gonna make Travis picking patterns so much easier, because the location of these low 3 strings will already be programmed into your thumb and your mind. So grab a guitar, do this with me real quick. E, A, D, A. Stay relaxed. Make sure you're not kinking your wrist too far one way or the other, or your thumb too far one way or the other. Try it with, you know, the folk. Try it with classical. Try it with the anchored. Try it with the thumb pick if you want to do the anchor. exactly how you want to practice this. Okay, let's try that with the metronome. Once you have this, programmed in and you're feeling confident, try it with the metronome. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Little one more. 2, 3, 4. Now it may take you a couple of days to get this much control over your thumb, or it may take you a couple weeks or months to get this much control over your thumb. How long it takes you really isn't the point. The point is accuracy. Whether it takes you 2 days or 2 months, it doesn't matter as long as you develop the ability to play accurately with your thumb. That's going to make later modules on fingerstyle patterns and Travis picking much easier for you. Here are your assignments for this lesson. Number 1, review the thumb technique checklist. Number 2, play exercise 1 without a metronome. Number 3, play exercise 1 with a metronome at 70 beats per minute. Number 4, play exercise 2 without a metronome. Number 5, play exercise 2 with a metronome at 70 beats per minute. Number 6, play exercise 3 without a metronome. Number 7, play exercise 3 with a metronome at 70 beats per minute. You get the pattern here. Number 8, play exercise 4 without a metronome. And number 9, play exercise 4 with a metronome at 70 beats per minute. I know this can be challenging and tedious, but this is the way to program things into where you'll have an easier time for upcoming lessons. If you have any questions, leave them here in the comments. Email us, support@guitarframe.com, or schedule a personal private one-on-one lesson with me. The first one is complimentary. I'll be looking forward to seeing you.